Welcome back to another episode of All of the Boom. I am your host. I am Anon Moose, also known as zmoT. zmoT in that creator boost and in your hearts, obviously. Please make sure you do fill out that creator boost. Obviously, zmoT is the best answer, but failing that, do make sure you put something in there in every single Supercell game. It is fantastic. And speaking of fantastic, I love how these skins are coming together, whether it be the Quintagon or the orange trees or that beautiful, beautiful gunboat warship. Very, very curious to see how the Boom Pass is going to come together in future seasons, whether it be space themes or cartoon themes, as Boom Beach starts to look neater and more interesting. I kind of want a submarine sub, even though the trader isn't here all that often. But maybe you could get a 2-for-1 where you get a submarine and the trader sub. Let me know your thoughts on different skins. I will come back to the Boom Pass. I'm going to cover all of the Boom Beachy things. This is the first, though. I haven't shown you this tech tree this season. This is my I suck at playing the game. I'm going to play with one eye closed and fat finger all of the things. All that has to happen on this one is I need to finish bases and people will fizzle. Very, very different tech tree than what I've been showing you so far this season. Notice that my shock launcher is only tick 1. That is intentional. All of my keys and tokens and upgrade priorities are going towards that rocket launcher. Managed to get into 18 with this strictly by having people fizzle. It is just, if they fizzle, I win. Otherwise, I lose. So this attack is not going to be me going fast. That will be on a different account I'll show you soon. We are just going to drop Rudy Tooty in, and you notice that all of my videos this week have been focusing on Rudy's ability, which is the bombing run. This is not going to be bombing run because bombing run is not the safest way to keep your troops alive, and that is all I am concerned about at this second, is keeping our troops alive. And so we're just gonna go super duper slow here and just focus on keeping things alive. Is that the sexiest way to play Boom Beach? Nope, but it is a great way to keep your stuff alive, and I am not doing a great job of that at the second. All of our wingmen are slowly but surely catching up. We're going to get all of them out front, and now we can get the heck away from this stuff because we don't need it. Now, we are going to run into a problem here where Rudy wasn't there, so we're going to throw one more flare. Rudy's going to get out front, and then as he's pointing in the right direction, we're going to hit that wingmen button. Need to be pointing in the right direction. Whichever way Rudy is going is the direction his wingmen are going to go, and you don't really want Rudy to point in the wrong direction because all of his wingmen going away from buildings is not so much ideal. We have picked up what I assume is a win, and Kraken, let's just see how Kraken is cracking on here. Yeah. Look at that. That is why you go all defensive. It means that you don't have to worry so much about your attack and your angles and your flares and your timings. You just kind of go about it at your own pace, and you can rank up very well. As you can see by that satellite dish in that bottom left-hand corner, Kraken has force quit, and so we are going to crack on to something else. Okay, I mentioned we were going to do some Boom Pass goodness. This account does not have nearly the pretty skins that my other one does. We do have that green residence and at least one, I think we've got some troop skins on this one. Yeah, there we go. There is the headquarters. So great difference between the two of them. We also have those beautiful Mega Scorchers. Now, I'm not super convinced that one of them is better than 2 regular Scorchers. Also note that you can't get them maxed because of the proto troop point issue with HQ26, not getting nearly enough of those green circular tokens, but we are going to crack on, that's the last time I say that. Regardless, we are going to do an operation attack on dead end using these Mega Scorchers. primarily because watching them blow up is a really, really good time. I am going to drop bullet far, far left in case that left-hand side boom cannon comes into play. We are just going to farm some gunboat energy here, and then I'm going to be heading around to that back corner. No shock launcher on that right-hand side means that we should be able to just walk through this base in theory anyways. Not entirely sure how that's gonna go, but we will give it the old college try. It wouldn't be a Friday video if I didn't say old college try. Don't even know why I've been saying that a bunch, but we're just gonna carry on with it. Now, critter launchers and boom cannons, obviously a concern, so we're going to throw some gappy smokes because of the ridiculous amounts of health that these things have. Don't have to be perfect with our smokes, just need to be somewhat okay. Now, bullet would be useful if he could taunt something, but we don't have the GBE for that, and now it's just going to be up to these things clearing all of the details around and not coming too close to that left-hand side, or we're going to have to deal with the shock launchers. I think this should be an easy solo, though. If you are doing dead end or even deep cut or lower, assembly is usually ripe for the picking for a Scorcher solo. Do consider throwing your Scorchers in behind the core, especially if there's no shock launchers on one side or the other, which happens somewhat frequently. You know what? Let's throw a shock over here on these shock launchers, letting our Mega Scorchers clear and picking up a super simple solo on dead end, unboosted, and using the proto troop of the second as that, and we're gonna get to see one explode here. I think that bottom Mega Scorcher coming into range of that boom cannon, but we just have too much troop health. I don't think it's going to explode, unfortunately. Mega Scorchers exploding is that's my favorite part about them, which is not super duper ideal. All of the carnage with them exploding, and I didn't even get to do that. Losing 0 troops, easy assembly solo. Yes, you can smoke Zukas up the left-hand side and do a shock bullet hit, but just gap smoking Mega Scorchers works pretty darn well. Now, onto the boom pass. Lots of these things. I wanted to show you a simple way to get as many of these at a time as you can. All of the max level players out there in the world have been using that destroy button for a long time. There are a bunch of debates whether it's worth attacking NPCs or not. You get those crystal streaks, you get extra shards or frags sometimes. Honestly, I now attack all of my NPCs strictly for the reason that you get all sorts of boom pass missions by doing it. So we're just going to throw a couple shocks. We'll hit that 3 times mode button and then just take that puppy down as easily and fast as we can. We used two boats. We got 0 troop losses, and in the process we got only 2 boom pass missions out of the way, but simply changing a couple different things. Why did we not get destroy headquarters first, I wonder? Probably because that only works on regular bases, not blackguard bases. Do note that mercenary bases are required for some missions, but most of them, or I've screwed up that one. Anyways, you get the basic idea. Do throw these guys out there. Start attacking your NPCs. I know that's a little bit silly and not something many players have been doing for a while there. Do throw out some medkits and some smoke and critters, because there are missions for many things at the same time. Trying to get as many missions done as fast as possible with as few troop losses, and NPCs are the answer for that, I think. So do give that a go. Simple stuff. Now, speaking of simple stuff, people have been struggling to get the info on what the heck the stats on the Wingmen are, what the heck the stats on the bombing run, what level seekers you get, and there's an easy somewhat dumb answer for that as well. If you go into here and click on Wingmen Rush right there, you can get all of the info for your current level. It's a bit ridiculous. I had a bunch of you comment and tell me that, so you can't see what happens when you upgrade them, unfortunately, but there is the Boom Beach wiki for that. I will throw a link down below. All of the different levels are involved, and you'll notice that his bombing drop interval is every 1 second, and 4.9 seconds means he's probably only going to drop 4 bombs. Level 6 bombing run is more than 4.9 seconds and does almost 1,500 extra damage. So level 6 bombing run is tempting me in a big way, but I don't think I'm going to be going that way because it's a lot of tokens and a lot of keys. So this account has been in and out of 19 more than some innuendo that I'm not going to make. My attacks have been good to bad. Oh, big shout out to Zendo. Zendo, very good player that I think I'm like 500 against or even less, but getting the luck of that one. Bunch of players this season. Rakesh, for example, has been kicking my absolute tail. Just goes to show that on this season, when you're trying to rush and go fast, all sorts of things can happen. So very interesting. I really do like this season. I'm not sure if it's the Rudy aspect or the tech tree itself or a combination. Oh man, we are gonna run into a very large issue here. We are about to get seekered. I'm almost certain. Need to go as fast as we can. We're going to get some warriors out, and we're going to get some rocket choppers out and some Rudy. So this left-hand side obviously needs to be rocket choppers. This can be warriors. This can be warriors. That can be warriors. So we're going to go primarily warriors and just try to be as fast as we can and hope that this person does not crush us with seekers. So we're going to send Rudy up that left-hand side. We're going to send warriors up there and you up there and some critters in there and a bombing run and some warriors. And as you can see, our opponent has already finished, which means that we are almost certainly going to lose, but maybe, just maybe, we can pull out some form of a win. I kind of doubt it. I don't think we have a heck of a lot of chance, as you can see by the fact that Rudy is not doing all that much damage. Our warriors and troops, though, are doing fairly gosh darn well. Just need to get them onto there. We are at a decent time, 3 minutes, 18, 17, 16, 316. John 316, Alfredo RG 2015, probably using Seekers. Yeah, Seekers. Shout out to Alfredo. I think I'm like 8-2 against Alfredo lifetime or something ridiculous like that, but showing off why people are going lean and green, getting all the way into Seekers, and Seekers are basically unstoppable. So that is something that we have been waiting to see all season long. The last probably 2 days or so, Seekers have come out, and you see that I am a decent way from Seekers. Now, quick note, as we're on this topic, it would not be a zmoT video if we didn't do any drawings. So, if you're thinking about going 5 engine rooms, wait until you have 130 keys. Unless, of course, you're going Seekers. Actually, even if you're going Seekers, probably, because you want to be able to go into 5 engine rooms and then down to that building health, or you're just going to get absolutely slaughtered. You really don't want to be in 5 engine rooms unless you have building health or Seekers, or both for that matter. So that is why I am sitting here hiding-ish. I don't really care about my current rank at the second. That's why I'm coming to you from 18. Typically in previous videos I would start recording when I was in 19, but these things aren't all that important at the second. Just biding my time, waiting to get enough tokens so that we can get forwards. And I kind of feel like that first tech tree that had the rocket launchers and all of the building damage is going to pass this one while we wait for those keys to get both of those items. I don't think I'll be able to beat players with 5 engine rooms and building health that have seekers anyways, so we're just going to keep on treading some water. One other pet project of mine is this one. When the new matchmaking rules came in, I had been trying to get this one down to 0 victory points. Why, you might ask? I don't know. Beaching your headquarters now works better than ever. It still doesn't work. It doesn't do a heck of a lot, but by beaching my headquarters, I've managed to get this log together where players are taking my base out at the rate of about 1 per day. I noticed that I got rated 3 times that day, but there were none in the days beforehand. So generally, trying to get this one down to 0 victory points, just as a pet project. That is the beauty of having multiple Boom Beach accounts. I just come in here, I collect the diamonds, and then I exit out. Like, that is all I'm doing on this account. I have many accounts that I've built up for myself and for the community. I try to have like one at HQ 16, one at HQ 17, one at HQ 18. That is why this account is so gosh darn close to XP 47. Didn't feel like it would make sense to go XP 47 because then I would be able to upgrade my headquarters. So that's why this one is locked there. Longtime viewers of the channel might remember this account from all of the War Factory and Tropical and all of, you know what, while we're here, the easiest way to lose victory points is having a lot of resources, and I assume all of you know the trick about storing all of your resources in your resource boat. I have been collecting this boat just to keep those full, but you know what, for old-timey sake, let's do Imitation Game and see if we can't do all of the stages. Should be able to just probably barrage the headquarters on this. Would have been smart to check the health, but we will drop troops in the future. We will use Zookas and unboosted goodness. See if we can't do all 7 stages. Lots and lots of good memories doing Imitation Game. I don't like how Imitation Game is right now. I've talked about this a whole lot, but I figured in case you're new to the channel, the reason I am grumpy about Imitation Game is the fact that it is broken. They have not added critter launchers. They have not added HQ 26. It is just old bases. And my favorite part of Imitation Game for years and years was partially, as silly as it sounds, seeing the different names on the accounts and seeing the different bases that you recognize, having the opportunity or potential for your base to pop up in Imitation Game, and now, even if this was your base, we have no way of knowing it because your name is not up there in that top left-hand corner, which it was when Imitation Game first came out. So, hoping and praying and begging that the Cycle of Evil gets an update at some point. And speaking of updates, typically, Boom Beach in years past, when it was getting updates consistently, there was an update in June or July and September. And guess what? September is almost here. So will there be an update soon? I can't say 100%. Do consider subscribing for sneak peeks, but when Boom Beach was at its peak, when we had a constant active dev team, we got updates in March, June, and September. And this year, with our active, strong, very good dev team, we have gotten updates in around March and around June. So September, question mark? Very hopeful and curious. I don't even know what the heck they could bring, and sometimes I have insights and I have to bite my tongue and not talk about them, or I have guessed what is going to come and then can't talk about it because there is an update available or something along those lines. In this instance, it is just me looking through that Boom Beach wiki, as we talked about earlier, and noticing the pattern and remembering how things used to be, and hoping that we do in fact get another update. And this is where having critters would be amazing. I would throw critters in that smoke, and then they would pop out first, and then we would blow up the core as everything targeted the critters. But we don't have critters, so we need to throw some well-timed shocks, and we are going to lose all sorts of troops in the process, using medkits to try to keep our troops alive, and those mortars did not even get a shot off. Smoky Zookas for the win. I'm liking this imitation game. 0 troops lost. We're only on stage 4. 2 more to go, and this is where things tend to get a little bit interesting. But it's a front-loaded base. Front-loaded bases, I highly recommend them. If you watched my How to Build a Defensive Base video, you know this. If not, I do recommend you go check that out. Against Smoky Zookas, not super duper great idea. But if you watch your replay log, how often are you hit by smoky troops? Almost never. So we're going to drop in here. I am going to drop a that and a that and a that and a that, and then just more medkits as we pop this headquarters. I think we might have lost 1 Zooka along the way, maybe 2, and then as always, throw an extra smoke on top of your troops so they get to hide away as the buildings explode. We lost 5 that time. So definitely getting into the neighborhood where we might have to spend some diamonds. I kind of want to get this down. Oh, we can. That is beautiful. Again, speaking of my defensive base building video, the number 1 gotcha is never build a back right base. Back right bases are the worst idea by a huge margin, because this walk along this dock is so simple and so straightforward and has been figured out by all of the players. This left hand side slightly more jaggedy and does pose a bit more difficulty. Also notice the flags in that nice straight line, making things bit more predictable as we try and guess the range of that rocket launcher. Very curious to see on the replay how close it is. The more you play Boom Beach, the more you use smoke, the more familiar you get with that, where your troops are going to go and how they're going to walk. And if you don't have instant training, it is a great way, did I mention great, to get your attacks better on the main base. I know the main base has fallen by a bit by the wayside, I think that expression is, but do. Uh-oh, I missed an easy shock on that rocket launcher, and we're going to lose some troops in the process. But to continue my thought, do play the main base. I know it can be a bit boring, but at least you can share these attacks with the members of your task force. And I really do hope that we can share our attacks on warships with our task force members soon, maybe in September. Again, I'm just making these things up. Again, hoping. Stage 7, with no reloads. Can we get it done? All of these rocket launchers. This is a good base, actually. Getting people to use all of their GBE to drop their troops. So, do we go clear some things? I think we've got enough GBE on this account where if we get to this back section back here, we should be in good shape. Just need to worry about that 1 mine, and my goodness, as a mid-level player attacking max level players with Zookas, you have to pay so much attention to mines. It is crazy. And now just dropping those smokes, trying to save on flares because we need to get our troops so far back there. Throwing out those smokes. One other thing I like to do is try and make our smokes absolutely perfect so there's no overlap. That one was not perfect. This one, that one's perfect. Just, again, little silly games that I have created for myself to make these monotonous tasks slightly more fun. And now we just need to worry about that mortar right there dropping on all of our troops. And now I am going to keep on moving backwards at the expense of some of our troops, unfortunately. Need to worry about that back right-hand side mortar as well, probably shocking it slightly early, but now we just need to get onto that mortar or we're going to lose all of our troops to it. This is going to be probably a 2-hit, as you can see by the fact that that rocket launcher does in fact range back there. Thought I could get a little teeny tiny blind spot, but at the very worst we have saved, so we have a second attack to take this puppy down, and then we'll only need one shock on that rocket launcher. I don't have to worry about mortars or all the rest, and our MVP Zuka is dead, so our attack is over. Not the perfect finish, but anytime I get the opportunity to use this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful soundbite, it's gotta be done. So we are gonna finish up this video here. We did 2 different warships showing 2 different tech trees. If you have any questions about the tech trees whatsoever, or about the boom pass, or about the potential possible update that's coming, do hit me up in the comments. I said at the beginning, I love it when you use code zmoT. I like it even more when you throw comments out there. Comments are my go-to when I'm looking for something to do. I know some of you open up TikTok or Instagram or YouTube Shorts or whatever it might be. YouTube Studio to check in with your comments are my favorite way to pass the time, so do keep those puppies coming. I am gonna hopefully not have to use, or not get to use, that sad trombone again. We're gonna hopefully take out that sculptor, then move back into here, and then we've got 3 shocks, so we should be A-okay. We're gonna throw a shock there and a shock there, and then just battle orders, actually not battle orders because Brick is dead, and finish off that base as we get most of our troops underneath the smoke. And then actually we got all of them, so pretty darn good finish. If you stuck around to the end, do throw your favorite emoji in with your comment. It lets me know who has made it this far, because YouTube analytics don't show me that stuff. And as you see here, we're getting all sorts of missions. So yes, attack NPCs, but also do attack those events. The rewards are great for mid to low level players, and I have added a bunch of loot to my coffers, and what that's gonna do is make my base ever so slightly more attractive to attackers. So hopefully I can get those victory points down to 0 before they make any further matchmaking changes. Again, not sure that's gonna happen, but I feel like the fact that I have been able to drop 60 victory points in a very short amount of time, I don't know if that's intentional or a side effect, but I feel like they might tweak that so that you can't get down to 0 victory points, because that's a bit of egg on their face potentially. Anyways, that is it for me. Long Mega Friday video. Do consider getting code zmoT in that shop every single Supercell game. Doesn't matter if it's uppercase, lowercase, camel case, or somewhere in between. I'm zmoT. Thank you for coming in. Keep sending your video ideas my way. Keep pushing those warships. Keep playing Boom Beach. And more importantly, keep that submarine diving. I'm zmoT. Thanks for coming in. Peace.